I just graduated from high school, and my school actually has a bit of a vandalism problem, which, to give it credit, is very creative. I saw this one kid like rip open a computer tower and spit in it, and then he threw in like crushed Oreos and a bag of Doritos that was filled with syrup for some reason. And it got so bad to the point where I had to step in and do some counter vandalism of my own. I took the liberty of smearing lamb's blood on my locker so that the vandals would know not to kill my firstborn son. I'm glad I'm out of high school because there's a lot of pressure to like drink and do drugs, and that stuff is great and all, but all my friends are like super athletic, so they go a little harder on the drugs than I do, because they all have kind of like a surplus of health to just kind of screw around with, and I do not. Like, my favorite drug of all time is NyQuil. I'll be hanging out with my friends, everyone's like, man, I got so drunk last night. Man, I got so high last night. Man, I got the best sleep last night. I really do love NyQuil, you know, like it tastes good too. I've chased Dayquil with NyQuil many times. I went to a private school when I was much younger, and I kind of got bullied there, which is bullshit because private school bullies have great lives at home. So like, what is their excuse? Like, I get it if you came from a bad family. Like, if you ate rocks for dinner, you can call me names. That's a fair trade. But if you grew up on the brutal streets of Beth Israel Jewish Day School, then you don't really get to be a gangster. Actually, when I was a sophomore, my dad walked in on me and my friends smoking pot. And it wasn't mad or anything. My dad's a chill guy. But we're sitting at the dinner table later that night, just me and my dad, and he says to me, you know, Lyle, smoking a joint is not going to kill you. But if all you and your friends do when you get together is smoke weed, you're going to find that a lot of your relationships are centered entirely around smoking weed. And I thought he made a really good point, you know, so I'm sitting there and I'm really thinking about it, and then I look down at my plate, and I look down at my father's plate, and I realized that our relationship is centered entirely around spaghetti and meatballs. Because I remember all the times my dad would invite me to his house after school to just get trashed on spaghetti and meatballs. And that was just a gateway pasta, you know. We got into fettuccine alfredo, penne riscotta, rigatoni alla mamma. So one time my dad went down to the city to try to score some spicy ricotta meatballs. That was the last time I ever saw him. I was never really into sports when I was a kid, like watching competitive sports. Because there's this whole element in sports, it's all about like trash talking the players. And I could never get behind that, because I'd be sitting there watching the game with a friend, and then all of a sudden he would get up and he would yell, "Fuck you, Trent Richardson, you fucking suck." And I don't know who that is, but he definitely doesn't suck. He plays football in the NFL. Those guys are really good at it. I was at Walmart the other day, and I saw this like 300-pound redneck guy with like a camouflage trucker hat and a big white t-shirt that said, "Rules of dating my daughter. Don't. No problem." Not even if I offered you a dowry of 9,000 John Deere hats? Not even if I promised to fulfill your daughter's childhood dream of wearing a Confederate flag veil at her wedding? I asked this woman what time it was the other day, and she told me it was 1:45. And I hate that woman, because I asked her for the time, and she gave me a riddle. Why'd you have to do that to me? You could have said 12:45, but instead you made me have to think a little bit. I wouldn't have asked you what time it was if I knew you were going to turn into the Cheshire Cat. Here's what I'm going to do to anyone who's ever given me like the quarter of, half of shit. If they ever ask me what time it is. Ma'am, can you ask me what time it is? Green dog with 3 elbows. Sheesh, sheesh, sheesh. Disappear into smoke. Alright, thank you very much.